Only one experiment stands between survival and total destruction. Will they save the town from annihilation? Let's find out now. The movie begins with a guy named Frank Vega, who's had his fair share of hardships, especially being a Vietnam War veteran. One day, he's riding the bus, minding his own business, when he spots two rowdy kids. It reminds him of his younger days when life was simpler, growing up with his parents. He had a sweetheart back then, and they promised to get married after he returned from the war. Leaving it behind, they continue, but the chemicals don't weaken the storm. It intensifies. The team gets trapped on the roadside, tangled in barbed wire. As they reach an overpass, one of the team members is swept away by the storm. The storm also takes Jeb, leaving Kate as the only survivor. 5 years later, Kate is working at the Atmospheric Research Center in New York. Javi offers her a chance to test a new tornado radar, and they head back to Oklahoma, where a new tornado outbreak is expected. Along with them is the team of video blogger Tyler Owens, who films tornadoes. As the storm begins, Tyler decides to follow Kate's Taninden, changing his original plans. Some passengers report the incident and post it online. Suddenly, Frank becomes an overnight sensation. People start calling him badass, and he's hailed as a hero. Meanwhile, Tyler parks directly in the path of the tornado to capture dramatic footage with fireworks. Later, Kate and her team prepare for another storm, but once again cross paths with Tyler, who decides to follow them. The Blonders launch a drone to monitor the tornado from above. Suddenly, a twin tornado forms, which is expected to weaken soon. Tyler chooses the right funnel, while Kate, after analyzing the wind, directs Javi to go left. Securing the vehicle, the bloggers prepare to film, but the tornado loses strength. The meteorologists manage to set up radars for scanning, but the storm suddenly intensifies. The wind rips away one of the scanners, and Javi and Kate flee in panic, narrowly avoiding disaster. They arrive in a devastated town where Kate argues with Tyler, accusing him of chasing fame at the expense of the disaster victims. However, it turns out that Tyler's team donates their earnings to help those affected, unlike Javi's investor, who bought up damaged properties at low prices. Kate realizes her mistake. Tyler invites her to a rodeo, drawing parallels between taming horses and chasing tornadoes. However, the weather worsens and everyone rushes to take shelter as the storm destroys the stadium. Returning to the motel, they take cover in a pool and save a man who is nearly swept away by the wind. The storm passes, leaving behind a wrecked town. Javi arrives with his team to assess profits, which leads to a heated argument with Kate. He blames her for the death of their colleagues during the testing of her theory. Deeply hurt, Kate leaves. Kate returns home, where she meets her mother and reflects on her school project with Jeb. Tyler visits her, having learned where she went, and convinces her that one failure shouldn't put an end to her research. Kate hesitates, but the next morning she agrees to continue the experiment. With a trailer full of chemicals, they set off in search of a tornado. Upon finding one, face leap towards it, and Tyler secures the vehicle before releasing the chemical-filled balloons into the sky. Kate watches as they rise, but their attempt to weaken the tornado's power fails. Back home, Kate forgives Javi for his words, but decides to focus on scientific research. After analyzing the data, Tyler suggests altering the chemical composition of the polymers. I'm adding silver iodide. Receiving a signal about a new tornado, the team heads out. Along the way, Kate sees Javi's car overturned by the storm. A damaged oil refinery causes a fire tornado. Realizing the storm is too strong, the team decides to retreat. However, the tornado intensifies and heads towards a city. Kate and Tyler rush there to warn the people. In the city, there aren't enough spaces and shelters, and people run to a theater. A tram traps Tyler and a tower threatens to collapse. Tyler uses a lever to free himself. Kate sees the tornado approaching and makes a bold decision. She speeds into the field with a chemical-filled trailer, secures the vehicle, and waits for the storm to hit so she can activate the chemicals. Hoping for success, she fires the rockets containing silver iodide and releases the polymers. The chemicals rise into the air, spreading around the tornado. Kate hopes the plan will work, but the wind begins to move the vehicle and eventually flips it over. Tyler struggles to hold back the drone operator who wants to film the event